Hello Wolfpack, we're here on Ethereum here today because we haven't done an Ethereum update in a little while. It's been a little while, but ultimately the Ethereum is still trending towards our target. We spoke about Ethereum about maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that, and so what we kind of predicted 2 weeks ago when we were a little bit further up here around 3,400, I think somewhere in that region, is we predicted Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, is going to be entering a bear market. In fact, it's already entered a bear market or bearish phase in the market, in which we'll be going downwards all the way to around 1,700 to 2,000 USD, favoring 1,700. And I think we will reach 1,700 at the same period of time that Bitcoin reaches 25K. And that's going to be, according to my predictions, around November. However, it doesn't need to be November. Those predictions don't have much evidence to support that. And so the time frame is a little bit flexible, but the price point is 1,700, somewhere around that region. One of the reasons why I think that's going to be happening is because if you think about Bitcoin, which is currently at 40K, and you think about Bitcoin, it's currently at 40K, so let's just use Ethereum as an example. A 4K to 25K, imagining it's 40K to 25K, is a drop of around 37%. Now, for Ethereum to drop somewhere similar to that region, right, 37%, would take us to around 2,000 USD. However, Ethereum doesn't just drop the same amount of Bitcoin, right? Ethereum drops more than Bitcoin because it's a smaller market cap asset and it moves more easily. And so taking us to around 1,700 USD is a 45% drop. And you also note that 1,700 is the bottom of this bottom green support box. And we've tested that multiple times. So I think that's going to be the bear market bottom for Ethereum. We're going to end up in that region. Regardless of the time frame, who cares when it happens? Point is, that's where we're going to end up. I really am flexible with the time frame, but I think 1,700 is the target for Ethereum until proven otherwise. And what would prove otherwise? Well, in my opinion, something that would invalidate this prediction is, I'm going to bring up a lot of things here so you can see why, is a break above 4K. Because as you can see on 4K Ethereum, by the time we get there, that would be breaking above the Gaussian channel Ichimoku cloud, the 200-day, the 50-day, and the bull market support band. If we break above 4K, Ethereum is bullish once again, and we can start targeting all-time highs. As long as we are below 4K, the target in the long term for Ethereum is 1,700 USD. Let me say that again. As long as we are below 4K, the target for Ethereum is 1,700 USD in the long term. I don't care about short term, and I don't care, frankly, what happens until we either break 4K or reach 1,700 or somewhere close to that region. Okay? That is the overall trend for Ethereum. We can see supporting this, we have, well, as I just brought up, break below every single one of those support zones that I brought up, and also a very long-term ascending wedge formation, absolutely massive one that has broken to the downside. Not only did we break to the downside, we broke to the downside, came back up, rejected off of it, and went further down. Now, in a shorter term scale, on the daily chart here, what some people would say is that, hey, we're coming up major support, which is correct. We're also forming a W formation. That's what they would say. Now, I would caution people against saying this because, as you remember, about 3 weeks ago on Bitcoin, we had a massive W formation at 45.5K that didn't actually play out and we dropped straight below. Just because it looks like it could be a W doesn't mean it's actually going to be a W. Now, it very well could be a W, but what I will say countering this information is the fact that, well, looking at the 50-day and 200-day SMA, specifically the 200, we actually came down, bottomed out on 3K, came back up, rejected from the 200, and now coming back down. So rather than a natural price action, it's actually a drop down and then a rejection, similar to the drop down and rejection off of this ascending channel formation, ascending wedge formation. And so I would consider this more bearish than bullish. I don't think this is more structure forming. I think this is more of a bearish price action that's going to recommend or suggest that we go further down. And I think that in the short term, the next target is going to be 2,650. And I think we'll be reaching that within a matter of maybe a month, depending on if we have a dead cat bounce on Bitcoin at 40K or not. A month or 2 months. But ultimately, 1,700 is the longer term target unless we break 4K. If we break 4K, everything I say here is invalidated and we're going to be targeting new all-time highs. As for the weekly chart on Ethereum, very interesting things happening right now, which would support the bull case. Well, not necessarily the bull case, but the case in which we have a bounce, right? We are testing the 50-week SMA currently. Usually we do see bounces off the 50-week on assets like Ethereum. And so just because we've closed one green candle above there and we're testing it again, we could very well see a bounce up. And at the best case scenario, we could even bounce all the way back up to 4K. But we need to be getting above 4K. We don't need to be testing it. If we test 4K, we could do something like what we did here in September, where we come up to it, we reject off of it, right? And we're back down to 3K within 3 days, right? I don't care about tests. I don't care about any wicks. I care about consistent closes above resistance. If we consistently close above 4K, that's a good sign. Until then, I would consider any move a dead cat bounce, and that dead cat bounce would be coming because of the fact that we're testing the 50-week SMA, and that typically leads to a small bounce. But ultimately, the downwards trend is very strong on Ethereum, and 1,700 is the target. Now, on the Ethereum Bitcoin pair as well, what we're seeing is something kind of similar. We saw a symmetrical triangle formation. We broke it to the upside. We rejected off of this red continuation resistance box, and we've actually come back down. And it's too early to say whether this is bearish or bullish, because we haven't actually closed back within the wedge, or the triangle, sorry. We've closed above it, and so usually when you see a breakout, you come back down, retest, and then go back up. So, there is a scenario here in which we go upwards on the Ethereum BTC pair. Would I say it's more likely than not? I'd say it's relatively unlikely, but it is certainly there. And that scenario would be favored, or would happen, if we see a dead cat bounce on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So look, let's see what happens. The longer term trend is still downwards. And like I said before, I'm targeting 1,700 until 4K is broken. If 4K is broken, we can target all-time highs. Until that point, 1,700 is the next logical step for Ethereum, or somewhere in that region, by November 2022. But that's flexible, right? Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure, by the way, to check out the membership option on YouTube. Now, you won't get anything, right? I'm not hiding any content behind a paywall or anything. All the content you get is given to free members. You don't need to pay me to give you information, right? I like doing it, so I do it for fun. But if you want to help out the channel, that's always a good way. And specifically, as the channel grows, if you want to have all of your comments seen and replied to, that is going to be the way you're going to do it, right? So if you want me to, for example, in live streaming, I'm starting live streaming next week, in 4 days actually, when that weekly candle closes, as you can see here on the chart. And in live streams, for example, I'm not going to be able to answer every single question, especially considering, my audience is growing. And so I need to be choosing which questions I'm going to answer. And if you sign up and become a member here for just $5, $10, $15 a month, whatever you want to give me, really, I will prioritize responding to your comments. That's obviously optional. Do what you wish. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.